was hectic. So I was basically sitting in my car when I got a call off somebody saying the ABC wants to interview you. I was like, yeah, sure, okay, cool, whatever. So I went and did my shopping, went back to the car, and I started wondering if I had time to go to the toilet, if I had time checking the dumpsters for food, if I had time to get a coffee. So I went and checked the dumpsters for food and found nothing. Anyway, so by the time I got back to my car, bring, I got the phone call. And I thought this was going to be for the papers, but it turns out it was for the radio. So anyways, I was talking to Scott Levi about the reason we had been camping in Ourimbah State Forest for the past 2 months.
We, the community, have gathered and basically established a camp because we're not in agreement with the way that they practice their logging. We don't think the state forestry follows proper sustainable practices.
Forestry Corporation, an evil conglomerate of the government, otherwise known as Fuckery Corporation, they'd come last year, they came, they sought and they conquered, and we were too late. It was gutting. I went up there and felt like I'd betrayed my area in a way, you know. So we kind of made a promise to ourselves not to let this happen again. So a week later, I got a rebuttal off the senior planning manager, Dean Carney. But mate, I listened to his shit. It was like well polished but greasy like a toe ball or a grease nipple. So with a little bit of research, I uncovered some very interesting things about Mr. Dean Carney's argument. Let's have a look now, shall we? So first of all, though, I'll talk to you about money. I'll talk to you about money. So state forestries are hotspots for biodiversity. They often have cultural sites, recreational sites that we, as the taxpayers, fund to keep maintained. They're also giant sinkholes for coin. So according to a report, which was published in 2016 nonetheless, and I still have to chase up a more recent version of this, they basically estimated that state forestry was costing the public on average $11 million per year. And this is kind of backed up by claims from the Greens MP David Shoebridge saying that every tree that they cut down is worth 20 cents. 20 cents. There's a reason for this. There's been a historic decline in the demand for hardwood. Softwood has gone up, but not hardwood. In State Forestry's own reports, they actually state that, quote unquote, as the net cash flows from the CGU, native forests, are negative, related assets apart from land are 100% impaired, which is basically saying that native forest assets are worthless in their own accounts. So they're actually creating negative money. The reason they get away with this is because they cross-subsidise their native forest hardwood extraction with their softwood and hardwood plantations. So literally their cross-subsidisation means that their business doesn't look like it's running at a loss with this particular asset that we are paying for. There's a couple of reasons as well. They also don't pay land rates. So there's not a couple of reasons. There's just one more to add that onto that list. But anyway, dirty little fucking bastards. So yeah, it's taken me a while to get to these interviews because we had to pack down camp, we were in a lockdown, we got a puppy dog, and I had to do so much fucking research. So, let's see. Koalas. Now, Friendly Geordies has done a mad job of covering the koala issue. Hats off to you, bro. So, these issues have been used to pressurise koala killers in our area because I believe that Barrala is the one that manages state forests. There was a local down our road who in 2020, in December, so less than a year ago, took a photo of a koala hanging around on her veranda. So we actually have photographic evidence of a koala living on the edge of state forest. I was getting around to what I was going to say. That's right. So basically on the radio, my radio interview, I told the public about this finding. What happened was Dean Carney said this.
Our contractors, as I said, are expected to look in every tree before it's harvested to ensure there's not koalas there. And if there is a koala found at any time, then there's strict protocols about making sure that area is set aside while there's a koala there.
So note that, set that aside. Allow me to explain this point.
And it's interesting too because when I read the report yesterday, it stated that if there is a koala, you basically have to leave a 25-metre barrier between yourself and the koala, like where you're clearing, and then just wait for the koala to go to chop down the tree.
After telling me that he would hand my report to an ecologist so nobly, so valiantly.
Well, there's no contemporary records of koalas there, but we're always happy to hear from people if they do have a reliable record. We'll give that to our ecologist.
They fucking didn't. I messaged State Forestry. This is after I went up to the forest and completed a fucking 10-page citizen science report on the evidence of koalas living in the Ourimbah State Forest. As in, I went up there, I looked at koala browse trees, I got them identified by horticulturalists in the area, and I just like put two and two together. If there's a food source, the animal will go there. If the animals exist in the area, it will go to the food source. It's like a no-brainer. Like that's habitat essentially. Forestry Corp. They changed the name recently. It fucks me around. Forestry Corp. Don't give a fuck. So they emailed back to me after sending them all that evidence with a letter from the solicitor, who's the lady who fucking took a photo of the koala in the first place. They politely reiterated their koala policy to me and essentially told me that koalas live in harvested areas as well as non-harvested areas. Like, what the fuck? Like, maybe that's because they're territorial, but I looked on Google and found that shit out. Like, it wasn't hard. You think, what? Anyway, so they're territorial. So, and on that point, I don't think they've got many places to go anymore, considering there's been like huge bushfires and such an encroachment of urbanisation, roads. Oh yeah, this kind of reminded me of the time I like interviewed head RMS guy
in the adjacent lands where we can move them back while we go about the construction process.
As in putting them one area, then bringing them back when the area is suitable again.
That's right.
How long would it take for this revegetation area to grow to a capacity where it can sustain and feed a koala population?
In terms of the modelling that we've undertaken, it's on the basis that those trees, it takes from 7 to 15 years.
7 years. He says 7 years. So I'm imagining that koalas just go shopping at Koalas or Woolies or something like that until these trees are usable. Anyways, well, that's what the professionals say, you know. It's good to know that we're being run by these fucktards. Tune in for more. Like and subscribe to my channel as I get my amateur ass into the world of YouTube videos.